So early stages of the women's super heavyweight, both Kathleen Schoppet of Germany and Rosa Camaldini of Italy have lifted out, and now this is Ucar to open up for Turkey. 25 years of age and 106 kilos on the bar. This is for just outright lead.
It's the wrong weight on the bar, excuse me. The referees noticed it. The bar's misloaded. And to her credit, the side referee from Italy noticed it. I could see her waving, and I guess that's what it was. Looked at the bar, and sure enough, it'd been loaded to 105.
Clock has stopped, so she's got 44 seconds. And in fact, they've corrected it to 105.
Changed her attempt.
So, the first of the main contenders in this women's super heavyweight class, over 75 kilos. The woman who was fourth last year, Ucar, Turkey, 105 kilos. And straight into the lead over two rivals who've lifted out, Kathleen Schoppet of Germany, who finished on, I have to say, a rather disappointing
заместитель министра спорта, туризма и молодежной политики Головков Павел Анатольевич. Приветствуем. Его имя вам знакомо, так как Павел Головков является
106 kilos on the bar now for Hripsimi Khoshirian of Armenia to take the lead. And goes straight ahead there of the Turkish lifter, who had 105 kilos. Now the bodyweight difference here, 85-86. Khoshirian much the lighter. The Turkish lifter, 82-67, but both of them much lighter than Kashirina, the defending champion.
Interesting thing there is, first of all, setting up for that lift, they changed the attempt significantly. She came down. She's not really in the running for the gold, and had initially been in for 110, came down to 106, which is really quite a signal, I think, that they're being conservative, and maybe she's not coming in quite at the level that they hoped for.
So the bar going to 110 kilos now for Ucar. And this will be her second attempt. So she's lighter than the Armenian, and this, of course, gives her one little potential edge. Now, the two of them, Khoshirian, the under-23 champion last season, getting used to this weight category, former world champion at 75 kilos, but it's the Turk who comes on now, and the bar's gone to 111 kilos, and as you rightly said, Randy, it's now these two women who are vying now for silver and bronze.
I think we're seeing that they're both being conservative because they sense the medal, but they don't want that opportunity to slip through their fingers.
Just getting a little bit more confident now. And just looking at Khoshirian, when she won the under-23s, she only needed to go to 110 kilos, but in the World Championships, she was up at 123 kilos.
David, here we could see why their decision to be conservative was wise. She doesn't look like she had a lot of reserve left on that lift.
So she's got 111, and Khoshirian, who is actually heavier than the Turkish lifter, coming out for exactly the same weight. So this would only keep her in the silver medal position, theoretically, potentially.
See, unlike the last attempt, Ripsmay's got a lot left. I think they're just being conservative. I actually don't know why they didn't go a kilo heavier than that, but they've got a reason for it, I'm sure.
Yeah, slightly curious that she didn't go to get the outright lead on the basis that Umahan may be coming towards the end of her limit, and maybe the third attempt might be beyond her, which would have kept Ripsime, you know, secure in that second place.
Maybe the Armenians are so confident they can say, okay, you know, show us your best shot here, Turkey, and you know what, we're going to up the ante at that point, and Ripsime is going to close the door in your left hook.
So, at the moment, 112 on the bar, but that's surely going to change Ripsime. As you see, a pretty nicely packed auditorium here, getting ready not only for this competition, but also a little later for the men's super heavyweight class. And a big Russian challenge coming up in that, no less a man than Yevgeny Shigashev, who some say won the moral victory in Beijing because he was so much lighter than Steiner. But back to the present, and this is Ucar now, 113 on the bar. Now, last year in Minsk, managed 117, so by that comparison, this is conservative.
İyi çekeceksin bak, iyi çekeceksin.
Five seconds. 4, 3. Little heart flutter for the coach there.
Well, I'm going to eat my words because I said on the last attempt, I didn't think she had anything left. She stuck that. Watch this lift. Watch how low she gets under the bar.
Interesting fact about her, Randy. Last year in the Europeans, when she actually snatched 117 kilos, weighed at 87, just over 87 kilos. Then for the World Championships, dropped down to just under 81, and now she's just over 82. So her weight's fluctuating a bit at the moment. So that puts her into the lead, and Kashirina doing what she has to. In other words, she's not taking on Kashirina. She's accepted, as you suggested early on, that she's just going to secure the silver medal here. Really nice.
Very easy.
3 out of 3 sequence. Interesting though, you know, it is her only her second season as a super heavyweight. I mean, what's your feeling? Do you think over the years that she's ever going to be able to take on the likes of Kashirina, who's got that 145 snatch world record?
Well, yeah, it's interesting you pick Kashirina as the target because Kashirina is so unusual in how little she weighs for the spots. Without going up all the way to the Olga Koroba 170 kilo body weight, even Kashirina is approximately 10, 12 kilos heavier than Ripsime. Ripsime is still very light for this bodyweight class, and her lifts are well down from where they'd be here. She moved up from the 75 kilos. I wondered in between, is she going to go back down to the 75s at some point?
Well, here is the world and European champion, Tatiana Kashirina, opening up here on 137 kilos, which is 8 kilos short of her snatch record. And I couldn't make up my mind, Randy, before the day started, whether she's going to be in the mood to go after a world record. Of course, she took that world record off Yang Muran of Korea last season in Antalya at the Worlds.
I say she's going to go for it.
It's all a question about whether you want to get the record here, and there's motivation because she's on a Russian stage, or whether you want to get the job done and make it 3 European Championships in a row, but also keep your cards a little close to your chest when it comes to the World Championships, because she's going to be taking on not just Yang Mirang, but there'll be a good, strong Chinese contender there in Paris as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really so much as keeping the cards close to the vest at this point as developing yourself as a lifter, and I think she might be testing herself a little bit here. It's a comfortable atmosphere for her. It's a good environment.
And just a footnote on a woman you mentioned, Olga Korobka of Ukraine. If you're wondering why she's not here, nothing sinister. I talked to Alexander Putsov from the Ukrainian Federation before we started today, and quite simply she's preparing for the World Championships in Paris. So a 2 kilo increase for Tatiana Kashirina. And we started to see her in 2006 and 7 and 8 when she was winning junior European titles. She won the European title in Bucharest with 280. She won the European title in 210 with 297, and the bar's going to 142 kilos, which is 3 kilos short of her own record.
So it means they're positioning her now to be within striking range of the record. So my guess is if this attempt goes well, we're going to see a world record attempt on her third.
Well, I think also the Russian team here, Randy, are actually using this as a piece of progression for Paris. They know that she can beat all of her opponents today.
Absolutely.
But this is, in a sense, a championship, but it's also preparation. So Kashirina for 142. Just 20 years of age. And I don't think any of us doubted the fact that that was going to be lifted up in regular and straightforward order. Very calm young woman.
Very fluid snatcher. Makes it look easy. Some snatchers are blindingly fast. I mentioned this earlier this week. Some are just fluid. Look how smooth this is. You know, another lifter's like that is the current president, Sergei Surtsov, tremendous snatcher, also just smooth. And I think we're going to see the world record attempt now.
I mean, take nothing away from Kashirina. She was excellent at Antalya. But I have to also say that Yang Mirang of Korea was substandard by some way in Korea. And I hope that we're going to see a very strong Korean challenge come Paris in the World Championships.
You know, you don't get extra points for being light, but one of the things that's so amazing about Tatiana as an athlete is how really relatively svelte and absolutely light she is in body weight compared to the other lifters. And you know, Anatoly Prizorenko was in here yesterday. That was kind of like one of his signatures is as a super heavyweight. He didn't look like the other super heavyweights, and he's lifting these enormous weights. And with Tatiana, we've got the same sort of formula.
I mean, it's interesting because Yang Mirang's a great performer, a lot of personality. But you know, perhaps the best super heavyweight woman that I've seen lift, Randy, was back in the Sydney Olympics, Ding Mei Young, who I thought was a fantastic athletic super heavyweight. Right. And she totaled up, what, 300? So, 146. An attempt on her own world record by 1 kilo for Tatiana Kashirina of Russia. A punch there with the right hand, just to remind herself that she's taking on a big weight here. Took this record from the Korean Yang Mirang last September. And that is the second world record of these championships, and it goes to Tatiana Kashirina who increases her world record from 145 to 146, and as expected is totally the dominant force in this women's 75 kilos.
Okay, here it is. Look at this. She knew at that point, I think she had stuck it. That's why her mouth opened up and she about celebrated. She could feel that she'd locked the bar. Did you see how violent that second pull was? Violent being ultimate compliment in this context, just explodes in that second pull. Watch this. Watch the bar accelerate now. Boom. Perfect placement. Boy, she hit a bullseye on that.